Okay, so I'd like everyone to come to a comfortable seated position. So that can be kneeling, it can be cross-legged. If you can raise your hips up a little bit, I'm sitting on a block, you can sit on a book or a firm cushion. That can just be a little bit more comfortable in the lower back. If you're completely comfortable sitting straight on the floor and you can maintain that lumbar curve, then great. But if you do have something to raise your hips, it can just make things that little bit easier. So everyone coming to whatever's a good seated posture for you. You can also lay on your back if you prefer to do that. If you've got nothing to sit on and you just want to be able to relax a minute, that's absolutely fine. And then just resting your hands on your thighs. Again, if you're cross-legged, just rest your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes, and we'll just take a minute to arrive in our body, arrive on your mat, arriving in the present moment and preparing for practice. So as you inhale, rising up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, allow the shoulders to relax down and back. Inhale, breathing wide into the sides and the back of the rib cage. And exhale, allowing the sitting bones to drop down a little deeper into the earth. Inhale, lifting the chest, lift the heart. And exhale, see if you can relax the facial muscles a little more, or any other areas of tension that you might be holding. And just taking the moment to notice how you feel in your body, in your mind. Perhaps first noticing that with a concept. So, relaxed, happy, worried, anxious, whatever it is. But then also kind of seeing if you can find out the feelings in the body that gives rise to that concept. So what in your body is making you feel like that? Is it in your chest, behind your forehead, in your stomach? And just noticing how you really feel in your body right now. Not to judge it, not to change it, but just to become aware, accept it. And perhaps just setting an intention to be present with yourself for the next 60 minutes as we do this practice together. Okay, and opening your eyes, I'm gonna interlace the hands in front of the chest and start to engage your core a little bit so that you can stabilize the torso. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, pushing the palms away, extending through the arms. Draw the belly in, keeping the whole torso stable. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, extend the arms up, overhead. Drawing the belly in and up, lifting up through the arms, extending from hips to armpits, all the way up to the wrists. And in this position, there's a slight sense of squeezing in with the upper arms as you resist away with the wrists. So really active through the arms, keeping the belly drawing in, really using those lower abdominal muscles. Keeping the breath flowing in and out. See if you can find a little bit more lift here. And then slowly bringing the arms down and release the hands. If you're in a cross-legged position, Just uncross your legs and cross them the other way with the other leg in front. If you're kneeling like me, you can stay where you are. And then we'll interlace the other way. So whichever way you habitually do it, switch your grip. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, pushing the palms away. Tips of the thumbs are touching, little fingers crossed. Draw the belly in, take another breath in. And moving on the exhale in the shoulder sockets. So keeping the whole torso really stable, using your abdominal muscles to prevent yourself from going into a back bend here. Really keeping that lower abdominal switched on, drawing back to the spine. And then lift from there, lengthening the whole sides of your body. Hips to armpits to wrists, squeezing in with the upper arms. So upper arms moving in towards the ears, wrists drawing away from each other, really active. Stretch up one more time. And then bring the arms all the way down, releasing the hands. And come up to a standing position. Standing with the feet together, big toes touching, and taking the mind down into the feet. As we do this practice, I'm going to be mirroring you. So just kind of imagine I'm your mirror. When I say put your left arm out and I do this, you're sort of doing that as if you're looking in a mirror. Don't think that I've forgotten my right and left. Okay, so ground down through the heel of the right foot. Lift the ball of the foot up, stretch it forward and really spread the toes and lift the toes and spread them out nice and wide. And again with the left foot, ground down through the heel, lift the ball of the foot up, spread the toes nice and wide. Bring the body weight back over the heels, engage through the quadriceps, so lift the kneecaps up, draw the belly in and up, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back and extend through the fingertips. Crown of the head rising up towards the ceiling. Squeezing the glutes a little bit, drawing the low belly in and up, and taking up your full height. So as we go through the postures, you'll notice that I give a lot of quite detailed cues. And this is not just because I'm a finicky teacher, but it's to guide you in your mindfulness. So when I'm giving you instructions like lift the inner arches, inwardly rotate the thigh, it's to kind of guide your mind around your body so that you're not thinking about what's for dinner, but you're kind of here in the present moment. So keeping all that alignment that we've just found, we're going to bring the arms up overhead, drawing the belly in, really keeping this tight as you're there, and lifting all the way up, lengthening the sides of the body. Keep the breath flowing, extending up towards the fingertips, and see if you can still find all that alignment that we just set up. So body weight is still back over the heels, kneecaps are still lifting, low belly drawing in and up, chest lifted, breath flowing smooth and steady, and stretch up one more time. And then slowly bringing the arms down. Okay, and just before we go into some standing postures, I just want to show you something with lifting the inner arches of the feet. So when I lift my toes up, you can see there that the inner arch of my foot lifts and activates. It's possible then with your, so everyone can try this now, if you all lift up your toes of your feet, you don't need to turn it to the side, you can just do it like this. You'll feel the inner arch of the foot lift up, and then see if you can allow the toes to come down, but keep that lift in the inner arch of the foot. And then when we go into the standing postures, that's the kind of lift and activity that you're looking for in the foot. So not allowing the foot to collapse in, but keeping that lift. Okay, so come back to your mountain posture. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees and step or hop your feet to a wide stride. Begin with some standing postures to get the blood flowing, work the whole body. Start with 2 heels in 1 line, turn the toes in ever so slightly so that the outside edges of the feet are parallel, body weight back in the heels, lifting through the kneecaps, lift the front of the pelvis, draw the low belly in and up, lift the chest, draw the elbows back with your hands on your hips, really opening across the chest, crown of the head rising up. Take the arms out to the side, shoulder hat, so shoulders are relaxed, extending through to the fingertips. Turn the left foot in slightly and the right foot out 90 degrees. Inside edge of the right foot is parallel with the long edge of the mat. Hips are still facing forward, so not turning to this side, but as much as possible still facing the front. Take an inhale, lift the chest, and as you exhale, bend that knee, keeping the torso completely in line. So you're not leaning over the right leg, but keeping the torso directly above the hips. Have a look down at your right knee and make sure it's not falling in. Push it back to the little toe side of the foot. Really getting that external rotation in the thigh. And mind in the left foot, so really push that heel down, see if you can lift that inner arch of the foot, keep this quadricep working, belly in and up, extending through to the fingertips, and then turning your head finally to look along your right arm. Make sure your left arm is still really active, not kind of drooping down, extend through that arm and keep the breath flowing. So I'm gonna challenge us to stay in the postures a little bit longer today to really get those legs working, get the muscles firing. If you feel like you have had enough at any point, obviously come out of the posture and come back in. Only you know what's going on in your body. And yeah, so just paying attention to that. But if you can stay with us, working those muscles, then please do so. Okay, so check out your back foot. Are you still pushing down through that left heel? Still lifting up through the quadriceps? So this back leg is really our anchor here. The right knee still pushing out to the little toe side of the foot, belly in and up, chest lifted. See if you can sit down a little bit more. And hopefully you've all got a wide enough stride so that your knee is not going over your ankle. Take a bigger stride if you need to. Sit down one more time, then gaze to the front, straighten your right leg, turn the foot down, ground and relax your arms a moment. Hands on hips, belly in, front of the pelvis lifts up, tailbone drawing down. Now turn your right foot in slightly, left foot out 90 degrees, so that the inside edge of the foot is parallel with the long edge of the mat. You can even turn it out a little bit more to help with that outwards rotation, but never have the foot kind of not turning out enough. Okay, so hands on hips, hips are still facing the front. Before we go in this time, really take the mind in the back foot and see if you can keep this back leg active as we go into the posture. Extend your arms out to this side, extend through to the fingertips, belly in, chest lifted, inhale, rise up, and as you exhale, bending slowly that left knee, but keeping this back leg really, really active. Again, the left knee, it wants to fall in, keep it pushing back to the little toe side of the foot, keep this right leg really active, lifting the arch of the foot, lifting the quadricep, draw the belly in and up, torso directly above your hips, and finally turning your head to look along your left arm. Keep the breath flowing, keep those lower abdominal muscles drawing in. See if you can sit down a little bit more, keeping that knee pushing out to the little toe side of the foot, both legs strong and active, both arches lifted. And keep the breath flowing. See if you can sit down a little bit more here, extending through both arms evenly. Maybe check out your back arm, make sure it hasn't drooped down behind you, as can sometimes happen. Really grounding down now through that left heel. Sit down a little bit more. And then gaze to the front, straighten the left leg, turn the foot round, hands on hips, and step or hop your feet back together. Find mountain pose, spread the toes, body weight back over the heels, lift the kneecaps, belly in, chest lifted, roll the shoulders down and back, and breathe. Okay, extended side angle pose. Step or hop your feet again to a wide stride. 2 heels in one line, outside edges of the feet parallel, body weight back, kneecaps lifted, belly in, chest lifted. Turn the left foot in and the right foot out all the way. Hips are still facing as much as possible the front. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, sit down, pushing that knee back. Bring your elbow onto your knee. Other hand on hip, and you can use the elbow now to really push that knee back, find that external rotation of the leg. Really draw the belly in, turn the tummy, turn the chest up towards the ceiling, drawing this top shoulder all the way back. And then we're going to take the top arm up and over, palm facing down, and extending the whole side of the body. You can either keep your arm here on the leg, or you can bring the hand down behind. No weight on that hand though, just touching the fingertips on the floor, really drawing the belly in. Then turn the tummy, turn the chest up towards the ceiling, turn the head as well, extending through to the fingertips. Sit down a little bit more on that right leg. Keep the breath flowing, maybe smile, relax your face. Left leg really active. Is that quadriceps still engaged? And then bring your gaze to the front, and keeping the leg bent down all the way, we come up with the arms and then the legs. Turn the feet to the front, hands on hips, check you've still got 2 heels in one line, and then we'll go to the other side. Turn your right foot in, then your left foot out, again fully externally rotating that leg, hands on hips, draw the elbows back, inhale, lift the chest, exhale, sit down all the way. If, like me, you felt like you see my knee here is coming a little bit further over my ankle, so you can step out a little bit more so you've got that right angle in the bent leg. Mind in the back leg, push that heel down, engage through this quadricep, bring the elbow to the knee, use the elbow to push the knee back, and then with the top arm, we're turning the tummy and the chest up towards the ceiling, really drawing this top shoulder back. If you want to bring the arm down, and then the top arm comes up and over, palm facing down, extend, stretching the whole side of the body, hand just kissing the floor here or still resting on the knee, turning the torso up towards the ceiling, bring the gaze up towards the ceiling if you wish, keep that length through the side of the body. Keep the breath flowing. If the hand is down, really no weight on the fingertips, using the core to support the weight of your body. So if you can sit down a little bit more, keeping the breath flowing. Mind in the back foot, really push that heel down, engage through the quadricep. And then bring the gaze to the front, keep that knee bent, come up with the arms, and then the leg. Bring the feet to face the front. You can heel toe your feet in a little bit and step or hop your feet back to center. Find mountain pose. Spread the toes, body weight back over the heels. Lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back, and extend through the fingertips. And breathe. Inhale, rising up through the crown of the head. And exhale, relaxing the shoulders down and back. Okay, warrior 1, hands on hips. Step your feet to a bit of a less wide stride for this one. Again, starting with the outside edge of the feet parallel, body weight back, hands on hips, engage through the quadriceps. Now this time we're going to turn the left foot in a lot. So you're going to pick the toes up and turn them in, and then the heel up and turn it around, so you've got it in a kind of 45-degree angle on the mat there, and then we're going to turn the right foot out all the way, and then this time the hips are going to turn all the way to the side. So you're really trying to bring now this left hip round to the front, and if you squeeze your inner thighs together, you'll feel how that brings that hip round even more. Can you squeeze the inner thighs together, but still draw the tailbone down so that you're lengthening through the lower back? Really active in this back leg, so push that heel down, engage through the quadriceps, and this back leg really needs to keep straight throughout the posture. We're going to take the arms up overhead, lengthen, keep that back leg really straight, and then as you exhale, you can bend your right knee. Make sure that that back heel does not come up off the floor. You're really pushing that back. Still squeeze the inner thighs together, bringing the back foot round, belly in and up, chest lifted, and extend through to the fingertips. Breathing there. Really lengthening the whole torso. Again, make sure that your front knee is not falling into the big toe side of the foot. Push it out a little bit. See if you can bend it a little bit more, keeping the back leg active. Extend through the fingertips. And then straighten your front leg. Turn the foot round and come back. Center, hands on hips. We go to the other side. So turn the right foot in a lot, toe in, heel out. Left foot out 90 degrees. Hips come all the way around. I'm very wobbly today. A little bit PMS. Okay, so anyway, you didn't need to know that. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Draw the front hip back and the back hip forward. Keep the heel really pushing down into the mat and this back thigh active. Okay, bring the arms up overhead, tailbone down, belly in, stretch, and then bend the front knee on an exhale. Really active in that back leg, so the heel stays all the way down, quadricep here stays really, really active, lengthening the front of the body and bending that front knee as much as possible with the back heel still down on the mat. Really lift the whole sides of the body up to the fingertips, back leg strong, and down a little more, and then straighten the front leg, turn that foot around, hands on hips, and step up, hop back to center. Okay, now we're going to do warrior 3, which is probably a mistake given that I was just wobbling in warrior 1, but there we go. So we're going to do warrior 1 again and transition into warrior 3 from that. If you know the transition and you want to go ahead. Otherwise, I'll just demo it quickly. So same as we just did, we start in this position and then we lay the body forwards over that front leg, lift the back leg up and come into this balance position. I'll obviously give you all the cues while we're all in it together. And then when we're ready to come out, we bend and very gracefully bring that leg down, come back through warrior 1 and out like that. Okay, so if you haven't already, step or hop your feet again to a medium stride, starting with the 2 heels in 1 line, hands on hips, body weight back, legs are active, turn the left foot in a lot and the right foot out all the way. By the way, if you want to do this kind of by a wall or something, if you're worried about balance and you want to put your hand there, that's absolutely fine. So hips turn all the way around, draw the belly in, lift the arms up overhead and lengthen, or again, you can keep your hands on your hips if you prefer. It'll be a little bit easier like that. Stretching up and then bend the front knee, finding warrior 1. Then we're going to lay the body forwards over the front leg, choose a single point of focus, lift the back leg up and coming into warrior three. So you're trying to turn now the left hip down, so inwardly rotating that leg. See if you can bring that leg, the hip in line, so it's not opening up towards the ceiling, extending through to the fingertips, gazing at a single point, and holding it there for a few more breaths or coming out. If you're ready to, see if you can bring the body down a little bit more. And then with control, gazing at a single point, bringing that back leg down, bring the body up, straighten the right leg, turn to face the front and relax the arms a moment. Okay, reset. 2 heels in one line, outside edges of the feet parallel. We'll go to the other side. So turn the right foot in a lot, left foot out all the way, hips turn all the way to the side, tailbone down, squeeze the inner thighs together, inhale, stretch up through the arms, exhale, bend now that left knee, and then we're going to bring the body forwards, gazing at a single point, lift now the right leg up, trying to draw that hip down in line, keep the belly in, extending through to the fingertips. Whole body working here. And you can come out if you need to, deepen the posture if you can, bring the body down a little more, leg up a little more. And then with control, bending that front leg. Bring the back leg down, body comes back up, straighten your front leg, and turn to the front, arms down, feet together, and find mountain pose. Spread your toes, body weight back over the heels, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back. And breathe. Inhale, lifting, and exhale, relaxing, extending. Okay, triangle pose, hands on hips, step or hop to a wide stride, body weight back, kneecaps lifted, turn the left foot in and the right foot out all the way, hips remain facing forward as much as possible, inhale, extend, and exhale, lengthen out to the right, and come down only as far as you can, keeping this top shoulder up and back. So don't come all the way down to the floor if it means then that your torso starts to face the floor. Remain open here. So if that's here, that's fine. Lifting that left hip up and back, lifting the left shoulder back. So you've got 2 shoulders in one line. Take the top arm up, and you can bring the gaze up towards the ceiling as well if you wish, or keep it forward if you prefer. Really draw the belly in here. Both legs are really strong and active, so both kneecaps lifted. See if you can lift the inner arches of the feet. And keep the breath flowing. And if you want to challenge yourself here, you can bring both arms up above the head, using the strength of the core to support the weight of the torso, or keeping in the regular posture if you prefer, holding it here for another 5, 1, and then use your arms to come back to center, turn the right foot round, relax your arms a moment, check you've still got 2 heels in one line. Go to the other side, right foot in, left foot out, fully externally rotating that leg, hip facing forward, belly in, chest lifted. Inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, lengthen out to the left, keeping this left side of the body nice and long, so you're not rounding down, coming down only as far as you can, keeping that chest open. Extend the top arm, and if you want to bring the gaze up towards the ceiling, you can. Draw the shoulders down away from your ears. Really active through both legs, keeping the kneecaps lifted. Draw the belly in towards the spine, Open across the chest. And if you want to bring the arms up in line with the ears, extending through the fingers, really using those core muscles. Keep the breath flowing, kneecaps lifted. And then bring that arm down. Come back to center. Turn your toes to face the front, hands on hips. And step or hop your feet back. Body weight back over the heels. Lift the chest. Roll the shoulders down and back. And extend through to the fingertips. And breathe here. Posture going. Take your mind into your feet. Feel the connection between the soles of the feet and the floor. And then we're going to come into a forward bend. So hands on hips. Step or hop again to a wide stride. Turn the feet in a lot this time, or well, a little bit more than usual, so that the outside edges of the feet are slightly pigeon-toed, body weight back, kneecaps lifted, and rolling the weight onto the outside edges of the feet. So much harder in this position to lift the arches, but really trying not to collapse onto the inner feet, and turning the feet outwards. Hands on hips, roll the elbows back, engage through the quadriceps. Inhale, lengthen the front of the body, and keeping that length in the front of your body, come forwards just as far as you can without rounding your back. So that's going to be different for different people. You might be up here if your hamstrings are very tight. You might be able to come a little bit further. But finding whatever's a good position for you, and then taking the mind back to the legs, really engaging through these quadriceps, drawing the belly up towards the spine, keeping the feet rotating outwards, lifting through the inner arches. And so you're still in a kind of a back bend here. You can see my chest is lifted, my gaze is forwards. So we're finding the movement in the hips, finding the length in the back of the legs rather than rounding through the back. And so this might be as far as you can go. Feel free to transfer the hands onto the legs if that's the case. If you can, bring your fingertips to the floor. Still keep the gaze forward, keep the legs active. And again, this might be as far as you go if this is already an extreme stretch. But if you've got a little bit more stretch to come, you can come down onto the palms of the hands, bend the elbows, start to walk the hands back. But still keeping throughout this a really long front body. So I'm not rounding forwards, I'm leading with my lowest rib, taking the stretch into the hips. Keep the belly drawing in, keep the legs really active. And lengthen. See if you can draw your heart further away, so you're not bringing your chest towards your legs, but rather lengthening it away. And then wherever you are, coming back up onto the fingertips, gazing forwards. Heel toe your feet in a little bit. Belly to spine, hands on hips, take an inhale. A couple of breaths here. And then coming up with a flat back. And you can step the feet back together, find mountain pose, lift the chest, roll the shoulders down and back. And breathe. Okay, so let's come to the top of your mat. I'm turning to the side, obviously. You don't need to do that if your mat is facing the camera. Just come to the top edge of your mat, wherever that is. Standing with your feet hip distance apart, body weight back over the heels. Lift the chest, take the arms up, lengthen. Really lengthening through the whole spine. And then coming forwards, I'm too close to the wall, so I'm going to bring my hands onto my hips and coming all the way down. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your stomach to your thighs, chest to the knees, so that might be bending your knees and not a lot here. Allow your head just to relax and be heavy. You can shake your head left to right, nod it backwards and forwards, just relaxing through the neck. And breathing here, really making sure that you've got the stomach on the thighs here, so no gap at all. And if you wish, you can, with keeping that connection with the stomach and thighs, you can just lift the hips up a little bit, finding the stretch in the back of the hamstrings. Okay, and then we're going to step or hop, if you prefer, to a downward dog position. So I find especially beginners tend to do a very short dog, so make it bigger than you think. Keep your knees bent and your heels up off the floor unless your hamstrings are very long, and see if you can turn your tailbone up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the lower back. Really push the into the hands, pushing the body weight back out of the hands towards the feet. Relax the head completely. You can bend one knee and then the other knee if that feels good. And then drop your knees to the floor, knees mat width, toes together, and relax back onto your heels. If your forehead comfortably reaches the floor, you can bring it down, or you can stack your hands like this to rest your forehead. And just breathe here, breathing into the back, breathing wide into the sides and the back of the rib cage. And either taking this time to completely relax, or if you want to make it a little bit more active, you can start to creep the fingers forwards, lengthening the torso away from the hips, keeping the hips drawing back. Keep the breath flowing, extending the torso forwards. And then using your hands, coming up to a kneeling position. Roll the shoulders down and back a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of work with the serratus, which I forgot the name of last time, for those of you that were here last time. So, you know, as a little way of me saying sorry to the serratus for forgetting what it was called, we're going to do a little bit of work to activate it. So come to an all fours position, first of all, and you may want to just watch a couple if you don't know what we're doing. Spreading the fingers nice and wide, we're going to bring the elbows down towards the floor and then lift them up, keeping the points of the elbows pointing down to the floor. So not allowing the elbows to turn out to the side like this, but keeping that rotation. And once you've done that a couple of times, see if you can bring a little bit more weight into it. So more weight over the arms and keeping the elbows in that rotation and squeezing in together. And you should start to feel this here as your muscles work to maintain that rotation. So if you haven't come into it already, find yourself in this all fours position. Draw your belly in towards your spine, long neck, and bring the elbows down towards the floor. And then bring them up again, keeping that rotation, keeping the elbow pointing towards your legs and keeping the arms squeezing in towards each other. So you should feel this in the arms and around the side of the torso here. Okay, and then we're going to do that same thing in downward dog. If you're unfamiliar with my classes, just have a look at how I go into downward dog. So from this all fours position, You're going to tuck your toes under, push your hips all the way back to the heels like this, and then keeping the hips back, taking an inhale, lifting up. And you can see here that my upper body doesn't really move as I come into downward dog. So the temptation is to kind of allow everything to come forwards, but bringing the hips all the way back, keeping the hands planted and coming up like this. Now, bring your gaze forwards and see if you can bring the elbows down towards the mat. Now, this is harder, obviously, because there's much more weight in it. What I don't want you to do is go 1, 2, 1, 2. So bring the elbows down only so far as you can, evenly, and come up again. So if you need to come back to this, if that's too challenging, please do so. Otherwise, working here a few times to bring the elbows down and pushing up, keeping that rotation. And you should really feel that now in the sides of the torso as the serratus is working to keep the shoulders down and back. So whichever level you're on, maybe just 3 more of these. And then drop your knees and relax a moment, allowing the forehead to rest and breathing wide into the sides and the back of the rib cage. Okay, coming again to an all fours position. We're going to go into downward dog one more time. So tuck your toes under, hips all the way back, relax the head, take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift the hips straight up without any movement in the upper body. And then without bringing the elbows all the way down this time, just see if you can find a bit of that rotation, which just makes a bit more space around the neck, drawing the shoulders down the body. Relax your head completely, turning the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Straighten your legs if you wish. If you can, if that's comfortable for you, relaxing the head, push the body weight back towards the feet. And then we're going to come forward to a plank position. So readjust if you need to. Push the floor away, so protracting through the shoulders. Draw the belly in. Legs are really, really active here, pushing the heels away, quadriceps active, belly drawing up towards the spine, head in line, shoulders away from your ears. And we'll just hold it here for a few breaths. If you need to drop your knees, if you'd rather just rest in child's pose, you can also do that. Otherwise, really engaging the whole body. And then we're going to come forwards a little bit, elbows in tight, coming down through chaturanga. Drop your knees if you need to. Hover if you can, squeezing the glutes, drawing the belly in, elbows in tight. And then inhale to up dog. Again, you can have your hips on the floor if you need to. Either way, push the floor away, draw the shoulders away from the ears, long neck. Breathing here. Tuck the toes, push back to your down dog. See if you can find that rotation in the arms. And we're going to speed this up a little bit. So coming forward to plank on an inhale, exhale down, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, tuck the toes, push back to down dog. And you can do this with the rhythm of your breath. So you might be on a slightly different time to me. Keeping the elbows in tight on the chaturanga. Okay, and then everyone again, drop your knees and come to rest in this version of child's pose. If you want to, you can bring the arms back
next to the body this time. Allow the shoulders to really melt down towards the floor. Breathing into the sides of the torso. And then bring your hands forwards, using your hands to come back up to a kneeling position. Take a moment just to recenter, lifting the chest, drawing the shoulders down and back, and breathe. Okay, we'll come forward just for a couple of back bends here. So come to a plank one more time, or straight down to the floor if you prefer. Legs active, down through chaturanga. Hold it here if you can. Squeezing the glutes, squeezing the belly, elbows in tight, and then melt down to the floor. And then starting with the legs as usual, we're going to be pushing the tops of the feet down into the floor with a little bit of an external rotation in the legs. So rather than kind of bringing the heels together and having that internal rotation, see if you can push the little toe side of the feet into the floor to spread this area around the sacrum. So when we go into a back bend, there's a little bit more space here and we're not kind of compressing everything. Squeeze the tailbone down, so lifting the front of the pelvis up, and the bottom part of the pelvis down, and really active through the legs for the whole posture. Bring the hands in underneath the shoulders, elbows in tight, belly to spine. Take an inhale and lift up using the muscles of the back. So elbows are next to the body, but not much weight, if any, in the hands. Keep the legs really active. Squeezing the glutes and keep the breath flowing, little sips of air in a back bend, lifting up a little bit more. And slowly coming down, head to the right, relax your arms, relax your legs, allow the heels to fall out to the side. And really breathe into your lower back here. Okay, chin forwards. Again, engage through the legs, push the tops of the feet down, engage the quadriceps, so you should feel your kneecaps pop up off the floor. Push the tailbone down, active through the glutes, and this time we're going to interlace behind the hips with the hands, drawing the belly in. Take an inhale and lift the upper body up, drawing the arms away from the hips, opening through the chest. Keep the breath flowing, legs are really active. Lift up a little bit more. Glutes are really squeezing down. Kneecaps lifted. Come up one more time. And slowly melt down. Turn your head in the other direction. I'm going to turn it in the same direction so that I'm talking vaguely in the direction of the computer. And relax. Allow the feet to drop out. Breathe into the lower back. Okay, we do that same thing one more time, but this time with the hands interlaced the other way. So with the less dominant thumb on top, push the feet into the floor, engage the quadriceps, lift the kneecaps, squeeze the glutes, and inhale coming up. Drawing the arms away from the hips. So the hands draw both down towards the feet and then up, opening through the chest. Keep the glutes squeezed, feet are flat on the floor, lifting the kneecaps up. Lift up a little bit more. And slowly coming all the way down Turn your head to the first side. Release, relax the legs. Breathe wide into the sides and the back of the torso. Okay, chin forwards. Squeeze the legs together, palms facing down towards the ground this time. You can creep your fingers a little bit down towards your feet. This time we're going to lift everything up off the floor. Squeeze the glutes, push the tailbone down, draw the belly in, take an inhale, and lift up, lift the legs up, lift the chest up, draw the shoulders down, away from the ears, extend through to the fingertips. Glutes are really squeezing here. You can smile a little bit. See if you can lift your legs up a little bit more, and the chest up a little bit more. Breath. Little soft breaths in and out when we're in a back bend. Keeping it flowing. Lift up one more time. And slowly with control release down. Turn your head to the left. And breathe into the lower back. Okay, bring your chin forward, bring your hands next to the sides of your chest, so not under your shoulders, but a little bit further back so that your elbows are kind of little, what do you want to call it, grasshopper arms. So you've got a couple of options here. If you want to just push yourself back into child's pose, please do so. Otherwise, if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, we're going to go through chaturanga. So tuck your toes under, active through the legs. So feel the legs lift up off of the mat. Draw the belly in, engage the core, and then pushing through the arms, we're going to lift the whole body up just into chaturanga. So body in one line, legs are really active, squeezing the glutes so that you're not in a back bend, drawing the belly in for a few more seconds. And then coming down, relax. Relax the arms on top of the toes. And this time we're going to do that again, but push, we'll hold chaturanga for a second or two, then push back up into a plank and then go back to child's pose. Okay, enough rest. Chin forwards, fingers spread wide, elbows in tight, tuck your toes, active through the legs, squeeze the glutes, draw the belly in, lift up into chaturanga, all the way up into a plank. And then we'll drop the knees and rest. Again, stack your hands if you need to, if that's more comfortable for you. And breathe. Okay, rolling slowly up to a kneeling position. And we'll come over onto our backs. If you want to put on, we'll just do a little bit of relaxation before we get into the Shavasana, but if you want to put any socks or jumpers on, now might be a good time to do that. So start with your feet hip distance apart on the mat and lay yourself down onto your elbows, down onto your back. If you've got an annoying hair clip, move it out of the way. And just take a moment here. You can rest your hands on your lower abdomen and allow the floor to support you. Then I want you to take your feet mat distance apart. And we're going to go side to side, keeping the feet on the floor. You might just want to watch if you're not sure what I mean. So we're going to inhale with the knees at center and then exhale, allowing one knee to come down as much as possible, even pushing it down a little bit to stretch the front of this hip, inhaling to center, and then drawing, internally rotating through the other leg, and just going with the rhythm of your own breath. So inhaling center, exhaling, drawing a knee down towards the other foot, inhaling to center, exhaling, drawing that knee down. Again, going in your own timing here. As you draw that knee down, feeling the stretch across the front of the hip flexor here. Lengthening the exhale. Okay, and then making sure to finish on the opposite side from which you started. Draw the knees in towards the chest. And just roll gently a little bit from side to side. Squeeze the knees in, whatever feels good. And then we're going to come to Shavasana. So bring your feet flat onto the floor, lift the hips, lengthen the lower back a little bit, draw the shoulder blades down underneath the chest. Allow the legs to come along, the feet to fall out to the side, turn the palms up to face the ceiling. If you're wearing glasses, good to take them off and close your eyes. You can lift the head slightly and just lengthen the back of the neck before placing it down. Making any final adjustments so that you can be comfortable in your Shavasana for the next few minutes. Taking a couple of deep, intentional breaths here. Really filling the lungs. And as you exhale, allowing everything to relax, to melt into the floor. And then just allowing the breath to become shallower. And we do a quick body scan, so bringing your awareness into your toes, your feet and ankles, and relax them. Bring your awareness into your shins, into your calves and knees, and relax them. Bringing your awareness into your thighs, your pelvis. Allowing the weight of the pelvis to sink down into the floor. And bring the awareness into the lower back, middle back, upper back, and into the abdomen, navel and chest. And relax them. And bringing the awareness into your shoulders, upper arms, elbows, into the forearms, wrists and hands. And then bringing the awareness into your neck and head, relaxing all the muscles of the face, the jaw, tongue, teeth, relax, lower lip, upper lip, nose and cheeks, relax. Your eyes, eyelids, eyebrows and forehead. Whole body completely relaxed, supported. As you inhale, the belly rises. And as you exhale, the belly falls. Just gently bringing the attention to the breath, the sensations of the air moving in and out past the nostrils, and the gentle movement of the belly and the chest. And then gradually just start to invite some life back into your body. Bring the breath back to a more normal level. Start to wiggle the toes and fingers. Gently moving the legs and the arms. And stretch your arms up above your head. Stretch the whole body if that feels good. Or hug the knees into the chest, whichever you prefer. And then again, bringing the feet flat onto the floor. Roll the body onto one side, keeping your eyes closed if you can. Rest here for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, making your way back to a seated position. Whichever position is comfortable for you. I'm going to sit again on a block, so if you've got a cushion or something handy to sit on, do so. And just sitting up straight one last time. Hands resting on your thighs, close your eyes. Inhale, rising up through the crown of the head. And exhale, shoulders down and back. You can either keep your hands resting on your thighs, or if you want to bring the palms together in a prayer position and rest your thumbs on your sternum, you can do so. And just bow the chin to the chest and take a moment to notice how you feel. And then raise your head and open your eyes. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.